Niccolò Machiavelli believed power doesn't only reside in armies or wealth, it flows through words. A leader's tongue, if sharp and controlled, becomes more potent than the sword. The art of speaking shapes perception, commands respect, and enforces authority without lifting a finger. From the dusty halls of Florence to modern power corridors, Machiavelli's principles echo loudly. He understood that to dominate, one must not only act like a ruler but sound like one. Speech is the vessel through which fear, admiration, and loyalty are transmitted. When a leader speaks, silence must follow, not because of fear alone, but awe. A Machiavellian leader doesn't chatter, he calculates each syllable. Every word is deliberate, forged to wound or uplift with precision. He wrote in The Prince that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But fear does not mean shouting or aggression, it means crafting speech so powerful it never needs to be repeated. Respect is earned when your voice doesn't plead, it commands. Great leaders don't explain, they declare. Machiavelli would say, if you're explaining yourself, you've already lost. Speak with certainty, even if doubt claws inside you, because doubt in your tone is weakness in your rule. The leader's tone must carry duality, mercy and menace. Like the lion and the fox, as Machiavelli puts it, be ferocious in silence, cunning in persuasion. Speak softly when calming the crowd, but let them hear steel behind your smile. Don't reveal all. Machiavelli admired rulers who cloaked their intentions. Your speech should inspire but confuse your enemies. Say enough to motivate. This means never apologize publicly unless you gain from it. Never lower your status through self-deprecating humor or uncertain words. If people respect your words, they will follow your silence. That's the mark of a true leader. Commanding presence is rooted not just in voice, but in the weight your words carry. Speak less than you know, appear wiser than you are. This was the Machiavellian method, Project Invincibility through verbal economy. A leader who speaks sparingly seems more thoughtful, more dangerous. Control the narrative, and you control the people. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of image, and speech is the sculptor of that image. With it, you shape what others believe about you, even if it's a lie. To speak like a leader, you must eliminate filler. No no maybe, no I think. Replace them with definitive, bold phrases. This is what we do. This is how it ends. We move now. Strength begins with how you sound. People follow leaders they trust, but more importantly, those they fear disappointing. Build that expectation into your tone. Speak with a moral finality, as if betrayal of your command is not just a mistake, but a sin. If you speak like everyone else, you'll be treated like everyone else. Machiavelli admired exceptionalism, the separation of the prince from the common man. Your speech must reflect that separation. Control emotion. Never let anger take over your words. Machiavelli believed in rational cruelty, not blind rage. You must be capable of sounding warm even when planning cold action. Every speech is an opportunity to strengthen your position. Never speak idly. If a Machiavellian leader opens his mouth, it's either to gain advantage, diffuse rebellion, or seal loyalty. Speak for effect, not for release. Silence is your ally. Let people get used to the silence between you. Eliminate unnecessary softness in speech. You are not seeking validation. You are dispensing instruction. Frame opinions as facts. Turn suggestions into decisions. Machiavelli respected adaptability. Your tone must change depending on the audience, but your authority must not. Speak differently to soldiers and senators to always sound like you're in charge. Speak like you're being written into history, not texting a friend. Use language that elevates you, formal, bold, occasionally poetic. The words of a leader should live longer than the moment they're spoken. A leader's voice is an atmosphere. When you enter the room and speak, the climate must shift. People must feel that something just changed. This is not charisma, it's crafted perception. Don't speak too often or you'll lose rarity. Machiavelli would say, the more something is seen, the less it is valued, so let your words become precious. When they come, they strike. Stories are tools. Use them not for entertainment, but for embedding lessons. Speak through parables, symbols, metaphors that hide meaning. That's how you inspire thought without revealing all. Avoid speaking like a victim. Even in adversity, lead the tone. Machiavelli despised weakness. Turn every misfortune into a narrative of learning and rising. That's how empires are built, through the voice of resilience. Flattery is a weapon both when used and when detected. Accept it carefully and never give it openly. Machiavelli warned rulers against sycophants, and your words must not lower your status by seeking favor. To sound like a leader, speak of duty, vision, and destiny. These words carry weight across centuries. Ordinary people speak of problems, leaders speak of legacy. When questioned, respond with layered wisdom. Machiavelli admired those who masked strategy as insight. Answer questions like riddles sometimes. Let your words suggest more than they say. Speak not to prove, but to provoke. Disturb the status quo. That's what makes people remember you. That's what makes them respect you. Machiavelli was not concerned with morality. He was concerned with results. To gain respect, you must understand how to influence human nature, not appeal to its better angels. Speaking like a leader means speaking directly to the fears, desires, and dreams of your audience. People don't follow logic. They follow emotion dressed in logic. Your words must feel right, even if they aren't right. As Machiavelli knew, people want to be led by someone who sounds like they've seen the future. Don't convince, convert. When you speak, you must not merely inform, you must transform belief. You're not offering an idea. You're delivering a truth that cannot be questioned. Every leader must master emotional leverage, speak in ways that stir pride, dread, hope, and vengeance. These are the motivators of men. Facts rarely move people, but feelings always do. Machiavelli's prince does not waste breath defending himself to everyone. Speak only to those whose opinions matter, and let others wonder. A leader's words are not for pleasing, they're for positioning. Divide and command. Machiavelli taught that unity is fragile and loyalty is fickle. When you speak, plant seeds of distinction. Make people feel chosen when they agree with you. Exclude subtly when they don't. Loyalty is not earned with gratitude, it's sustained by dependency and fear. Speak in ways that make your audience feel they need your leadership to survive the chaos. Make yourself the eye of the storm. A true Machiavellian speaker gives people identity. Say you are the ones who, and complete that sentence with power. People will fight to defend a title that empowers them. Speak it into existence. Learn to speak in slogans. Compress complex ideas into short, rhythmic phrases that repeat in people's minds. Machiavelli would smile at modern leaders using tweets to weigh grows when others are slightly unsure of how deep your knowledge goes. Control is built through cadence. The rise and fall of your voice must feel like a wave, slow, powerful, and inevitable. Speak in a way that others find difficult to interrupt. That's how a throne is built in conversation. Use contrast to gain clarity. Speak in opposites. Some want comfort. We choose greatness. Machiavelli used this technique to set apart the strong from the weak. Create camps through your words. When in front of crowds, don't speak to all, speak to one. Pick one man, one woman, one idea, and make it personal. Everyone will feel like you're speaking to them. That's how you own the room. Let your speech echo people's private thoughts, but say them boldly. They will admire your bravery for speaking what they only whisper. Machiavelli knew truth rarely inspires, but recognition always does. Speak with righteous conviction, even when your motives are cold. A Machiavellian leader understands the mask must be convincing. The crowd doesn't want a strategist, they want a savior. Deliver bad news with calm clarity, then pivot immediately to a call for strength. Don't dwell in sorrow, show the path forward. Respect comes to those who restore order from chaos with their voice. You must be able to lie like a poet, not to deceive for pleasure, but for control. Machiavelli did not trust men to handle full truths. Speak what serves the outcome, not what satisfies virtue. A leader's speech must make his enemies hesitate, not because of threats, but because of unpredictability. When you speak calmly of consequences, your foes will feel the chill. Never scream when a whisper can terrify. Repetition breeds belief. Say something enough, and it becomes real in the minds of the people. Machiavelli used repetition to create inevitability. Speak as if your vision is already the present. Speak of sacrifice, but demand it only in words. Let others bleed for your vision while you bleed only in metaphors. A leader must appear noble, not reckless. Speech must be your battlefield, not your body. Learn to pause strategically. Silence after a powerful line makes it echo longer. It gives your audience time to absorb and to obey. Machiavelli would call this the weaponization of stillness. Language creates hierarchy. When you speak with authority, using refined, elevated terms, you place yourself above others. Don't dumb down your speech, force others to rise up to it. Use historical references to appear wise. Mention Caesar, Alexander, or Florence subtly. Machiavelli revered leaders who connected themselves with greatness. Speaking of past empires makes you sound like you deserve one. Speak about the future as if you've seen it. People respect visionaries who sound like prophets. Even if you don't know what comes next, speak as if you do. Confidence predicts reality. You must never over-explain. Machiavelli warned that excessive clarity makes a leader predictable and weak. Let your words spark curiosity and fear, not full understanding. That's how you stay in control. Elevate your followers when you speak, but only in relation to you. Say things like, "Together we rise, but only if we have the strength to follow." Empower while maintaining hierarchy. Turn criticism into opportunity. Machiavelli's prince does not whine when attacked. Instead, he reframes the insult as proof of his threat to the old order. Speak of attacks as signs of your growing influence. A leader's apology should sound like a lesson. Never say "I'm sorry," say "we learned." This signals growth, not guilt. And guilt is the language of the weak, not of princes. Use ambiguity when your position is dangerous. Say, "We're considering all actions necessary," or "what must be done will be done." These phrases spark fear, speculation, and respect. When you face betrayal, speak of it with sadness, not rage. Machiavelli wrote that vengeance is best taken without warning. Don't rant, then act. Publicly praise loyalty more than talent. This rewards devotion and discourages dissent. Let your speech be a signal to the loyal. Stay close and rise with me. To the disloyal, you're replaceable. Speak about change like it's destiny. People resist change when it feels forced, but follow it when it feels inevitable. Use language like it's time. The world is shifting. We must act now. Don't just speak of plans. Speak of legacy. Use words like forever, generation, foundations. Machiavelli understood. Leaders who speak in centuries, not minutes, gain immortal loyalty. Master the art of public calm and private intensity. Speak softly in public. Let your fire burn privately. Let people think you are always in control, even when you're struggling behind the curtain. Don't speak in personal terms. Machiavelli urged princes to speak from the throne, not from the heart. "I feel" has no place in your vocabulary. Replace it with "we must," "it is time," and "this is the way." Don't argue. Declare. When challenged, don't debate, reframe. "This is not about me, it's about what's right." Speaking this way turns attack into moral failure on the attacker's part. In every speech, reinforce your myth. Speak of where you came from, how far you've risen, and where you'll take your people. Machiavelli's ideal leader is half man, half legend. Let your words keep that illusion alive. Machiavelli's world was brutal betrayals, assassinations, exiles. In such a world, a leader's greatest weapon wasn't always the blade, it was the ability to speak fear into existence. Through speech, one could dominate without spilling blood. When confronted, don't react, respond. Machiavelli warned against impulsive emotion. When enemies speak, listen without fear, then speak back with cold calculation. Words, when sharpened, can cut deeper than swords. Speak with poise during crisis. People watch closely when things go wrong. If your voice shakes, they scatter. But if you sound like a commander amidst fire, they'll believe you were born for storms. When you're attacked, never explain too much. Say only enough to control the narrative. "The facts are clear" is more powerful than "let me tell you what happened." Machiavellian leaders don't chase approval, they set the tone. A leader doesn't plead innocence, he declares truth. When under fire, speak of betrayal, envy, and resistance to change. Paint yourself as a visionary resisted by the fearful. That's how martyrs are made and martyrs are remembered. Never insult openly. Machiavelli warned that open hostility breeds revenge. Instead, destroy with calm implication. A subtle line, like "some lack the courage to act," can crush egos more than direct insults ever could. Use enemies as props. In your speeches, refer to them only when necessary and never by name unless it benefits you. Speak of those who resist progress, or voices from the past, reduce their identity to irrelevance. Frame conflict as noble. This isn't about me, it's about the people. Machiavelli would remind you, people will fight for a cause, not for a man. So speak to win the crowd with facts, win them with framing. Say, this resistance only proves we're challenging the old order. Let enemies validate your importance by existing. In debates, never match your opponent's tone. Stay colder, calmer. Machiavelli would say, he who controls the temperature controls the crowd. The louder they get, the more powerful your silence becomes. Master controlled aggression. Say things like we have tolerated enough, or the patience of the future is not infinite. These phrases signal readiness without full declaration. They provoke fear and compliance. Use shame to dismantle your enemies. Say, some prefer comfort over courage, or history will remember who stood back. Let the crowd judge them while you stay above. Machiavellian speech punishes indirectly. Never debate in public unless you can control the terms. Machiavelli would say, public discourse is a stage. Control the lighting, the script, the climax. If you can't, don't play. Paint your enemies as enemies of the people, not of you. They oppose not me, but the vision we all believe in. With that one line, you transform personal conflict into public war. Speak like a judge, not a rival. Rivalry makes you equal. Judgment elevates you. When speaking of opponents, don't match them, tower over them. Speak like the verdict has already been decided. Use rhetorical questions to corner opponents without direct assault. Do we move backward? Do we let fear govern us? These phrases rally support while alienating dissent without naming it. When enemies spread rumors, do not scramble to deny them. Simply say, the truth always outlives the lie. Let your calm imply innocence and superiority. That's how a Machiavellian leader turns rumor into irrelevance. Words die, but some echo forever. Machiavelli believed the greatest rulers carved their names, not only into stone, but into the minds of men, and the tool they used. Speech ruthless, visionary, unforgettable. To leave a legacy, you must speak not as a man, but as a myth in progress. Every phrase should feel like it belongs in history. Leaders don't just speak to the present, they speak through it to generations unborn. Speak in the language of the eternal. Use words like destiny, forever, for all time. When your voice rises above fleeting arguments and momentary praise, you become more than a leader, you become a monument. Machiavelli wrote not just to guide princes, but to become one through his words. His voice outlived his life. That's the power of speaking with vision, danger, and timeless fire. That's your goal now. A true leader gives people a purpose larger than themselves. Speak of something greater. Say, this is not about today, it's about a future that depends on our courage now. Legacy is built on conviction that transcends the moment. Repeat themes that linger: sacrifice, honor, duty, greatness. Don't just use these words. Wrap your identity in them. Speak like someone chosen, forged, and sent. Speak like the answer to an ancient call. Your voice should carry the weight of every soul listening. Even a whisper must feel thunderous if it contains truth. Machiavelli understood those who make the people feel heard are those they will die to protect. To be remembered, you must say what others dare not. Speak what hearts feel, but tongues fear. Say, we are not meant for silence. We are not here to bow. These words stir blood. These words live. Tell you, admiration is fine, but reverence is better. Speak to lift, but stay above. Never let your speech become mere routine. Your audience must always feel the possibility of revelation. He's about to say something important. Let that feeling live every time you speak. Machiavelli revered structure and strategy, but he also knew the magic of unpredictability. Sometimes pause mid-sentence, sometimes shift from calm to intense. Let your tone become a storm, one they respect and can never predict. When speaking of your own journey, don't boast, prophesize. Say, this path was never easy, but it was necessary. Let your story feel ordained. That's how you rewrite hardship into destiny. Use metaphors to stretch meaning beyond language. We walked through fire, but we came out forged. Machiavellian speech isn't just persuasive, it's poetic. Poetry wrapped in power makes people feel like they're witnessing history. A leader who fears time will be forgotten by it. But a leader who speaks with the assumption of immortality often earns it. Machiavelli would say, the greatest leaders behave as if fate serves them. And speech is how they enforce that belief. If your enemies call you arrogant, smile. Say, I'd rather be hated for standing tall than loved for kneeling. Machiavelli loved boldness that bordered on heresy, because that's how legacies are carved. When people mourn your silence, you've won. Speak in a way that when you fall quiet, they wonder if something's wrong. Control the value of your voice through its timing. Machiavellian wisdom is not constant. It's rare and searing. Use origin stories often. Remind people where you came from, not to appear humble, but to prove how far you've risen. From the ashes, we built this. Let your past amplify your present. Frame your existence as the hinge of fate. Say things like, this is the turning point. We were born for this hour. Make people feel like their lives are chapters in your larger book. That's legacy. Speak to kings when speaking to peasants. Treat every audience as if it deserves your best, but never lower your tone. Machiavelli believed that elevation must flow downward, not the other way around. Don't beg for applause. Pause until it happens. Confidence in silence tells the crowd, I know this matters. Let their response rise without command. The most Machiavellian applause is the one they feel compelled to give. Quote yourself. Repeat your strongest lines often. Let your language become doctrine. As I've said before, this technique turns personal ideas into shared truths, into timeless rules. Speak of your mission in absolutes. There is no other way. This must be done. People will hesitate, but when you remove doubt from your language, it slowly vanishes from their minds too. When closing a speech, don't thank people, call them. Now is the moment. This is your chance. Machiavellian endings are not polite, they are catalytic. Make people want to rise before they even know why. Let your enemies quote your words, but out of fear. Let the world remember the sharp lines, the daring declarations. He said it would happen, and it did. That's how your voice becomes prophecy. To be immortal, in memory, speak like your echo is more important than your breath. Machiavelli didn't write for his own time. He wrote to haunt every ruler after him. You must do the same. Speak knowing that someday someone will say, that was the moment everything changed. Give them that moment. With one sentence. With one pause, with one look, speak like a lion walking slowly through the field. No panic, no rush, only presence. When you speak, your voice must say, there is no one else like me. Machiavelli would remind you, love is conditional, fear is reliable, but respect is chosen. And it is chosen by how you carry yourself. When the whole both can be equally powerful. When you pass, let your words remain. Let your legacy be spoken long after your body fades. Let generations whisper the phrases you forged in fire. That is how leaders live forever. Speak not just to lead, but to live eternally in the minds of men. When they forget your face, let them still remember your voice. When your name fades, let your words become legend. That is the Machiavellian path, not to be loved for how sweet you sounded, but to be remembered for how the world changed after you spoke. So rise, step forward, speak like a leader, and let the world never forget that you were here.